Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Revelator. Today, I wanted to talk to you all about why, at this point, the information that I share is by Neville Goddard. That's not to say that that will be the only thing that I share on this channel, but it's what I'm sharing right now. Throughout all this, I've been definitely making every effort to remain pliable, to make sure I am acting out of what I'm being told to do and how I'm being guided and what I'm being shown. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm sticking to that. And so this is what I am to share for now. And so when I first had the spiritual awakening, and you can go back and listen to the lecture that's entitled The Empath, and it tells about some things that happened when this all first started. And so just searching the internet, searching YouTube, Neville was something that I came across. There were some YouTubers that I followed in the beginning. I don't follow them anymore. And the reason for that is because many of the, not that there were so many people that I was following, but the focus was on manifesting. Like everything was just focused on manifesting. When I started, I was kind of focusing more on that. And then having been raised in church, my grandmother always took us to church, and then my mom took us to church. So I thought, this just seems so superficial, and this can't be it. I understand that I'm going through something. I know that there are things that I'm supposed to be learning and studying, and things, that God wants to show me, but I'm like, this is not it. Like, this can't be it. I just wasn't feeling like I was getting what I need and what I was supposed to get from that. So I stopped following those channels. I stopped focusing solely on manifesting and then getting the things, because I just knew that that was not the way to go. So one of the things that kept coming up was Neville Goddard. And initially I would read or listen to something, a little bit of his, and then I would say, I am not listening to that, or I am not reading that. That is blasphemy. What is he saying? Those things can't be true. And that's how I was in the beginning. But at the same time, I would pray and say, God, I know nothing about spiritual awakenings. I know nothing about what I'm supposed to do. I know nothing about what it is exactly that you want me to learn or what you want me to do with the information that I'm getting. But Neville Goddard was something that kept coming up. And eventually I was just like, okay, I'll listen to this, or I'll read that. And then I did. And then it's like this little spark inside you, like this little thing is spurred inside you. And I thought, is this stuff true that I'm hearing? And then eventually over time, and I've listened to there's other teachers and lecturers that I listen to, that I still listen to, but Neville was what seemed to be more of a focus for me, and seemed to be more of what I was to focus on. And so as I went along and listened and read, I would come across lectures and things that I had experienced that were absolutely supernatural things, but that had happened to me, and I couldn't explain why. But here this man is talking about things that I had experienced, and things, of course, that I kept to myself, because who can you tell? Who's going to understand? Who's going to believe you? Who's not going to look at you as if you're insane? So a lot of the things that Neville has taught and the things that I learned, I experienced beforehand. and then I'd hear him talk about it, like dreams I would have, and then I'd come across a lecture and he's speaking about the thing that I experienced in the dream. So, I mean, it definitely takes faith, because I just had to like surrender and say, okay, Lord, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. But I was scared. I'm not going to tell you I wasn't scared, because I was like, Lord, here I am doing stuff. I'm going to go to hell. Like, I'm going to end up going to hell for listening to this stuff and for reading these things. It's just how I was raised and how we were always taught to believe the Bible a certain way. But the more I listened, the more I asked, the more I prayed, the more I asked to be shown and to read the Bible clearly, the more I got. And then a lot of stuff that was happening also is a lot of synchronistic events. Every single day, all throughout the day. And I will be doing a recording on synchronicities, because that was one of the big things that I experienced in the beginning of this, that kind of in the very start of it. So I am going to do a recording on that, because that's one sure way to know that you are definitely having an awakening. And so it's like the universe, God, getting your attention, like saying, pay attention to this, trying to get your attention. So you see these things repeatedly and over, and it's for a reason. So I was having a lot of synchronistic events, and a lot of what Neville was talking about, I was experiencing. And he would say things sometimes, and I don't know how to explain this to you to where you understand it, but I absolutely knew he was talking to me, that the thing he said or spoke about was for me. Mind you, this is lectures that were made and recorded before I was even born, but it was absolutely for me, and he's absolutely speaking to me. And maybe he's speaking to you too, and maybe it's for you too. But I don't know how to make anyone really understand that, but he would say something, I'm like, oh, you're talking to me. Oh, that was definitely for me. And I know, and within the core and the depth of my being, I knew that he was speaking to me. So I can tell you that it definitely takes a huge act of faith. But as you have faith, and as you pray for direction, and as you pray for guidance, it all comes. It comes. And that's just what I've been relying on. And it's definitely taken faith, because I have all these beliefs of the Bible being a certain way ingrained in me, because it's how I've been raised and it's how I was taught my entire life. And I was so worried, like, oh my gosh, my family's going to think, what is she doing? This is witchcraft. She sold her soul to the devil or something like that. But, I was worried about all that in the beginning, and I'm like, God, I just have to trust God. Like, I have to trust what I'm going through. So I spent a lot of time praying and asking for direction and asking for guidance. And I would study absolutely every day. And I would study for hours. I would read the Bible for hours. I would listen to lectures for hours. I would just sit and listen, sit out in nature, just quietly and listen. So, yeah. But I just wanted to share a little bit about why it's Neville Goddard that I'm sharing and reading right now. And that's why. Because it's what I've been told and what I've been instructed to do. Thank you for listening, and until next time, be well.